Hi everyone and welcome. I am so happy to be painting with you today. This begins our Valentine card series. Today we're going to work on this beautiful heart wreath. I started this one and I thought, wow, this is really pretty, but I wanted a little something more in the background and I didn't want to splatter because I didn't want it to get all over the wreath. So for this card, I created a pretty light, rough background. And I just diluted a really pinky pink and probably something that I just had left over on my palette. You could use purple, green, any color you want, just to kind of give it some visual interest in the back. And I've left, some rough spots where the paint didn't really get all the way to the paper, and it just kind of helps to give it something a little interesting in the background. So before I draw my heart, I'm going to mix my colors. So I thought I would use some of these metallics. These are just real cheapy metallics, I think, from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I'll let y'all know what they are. But in this one, I had some metallic left over in my palette, and some of the leaves wound up with a little bit of sparkle in them. And I thought, oh, that was kind of nice. So happy accident. I'm going to try and deliberately do that in this color mixing. So I'm going to try, I think I'm going to go with kind of a medium green. I'm just going to add a little bit. I just want it to kind of work its way through. The colors that I have activated today, this is my Mungyo 48 set palette, is olive green and olive brown. So I'm just going to try with these colors and see. And then I also have some Hooker's green, just to kind of give it a deeper, richer green tone. I'm gonna just mix some of that in. I'm just kind of playing. Well, that's pretty green. So let me I'm gonna try some of this. Oh, is it? Yeah, olive brown. Just to kind of, oh yeah, that looks better. I like that. So that's a pretty dark shade of green. Let me add some of this sparkle in. See if it dilutes it any. So we'll see. I can always add in some deeper colors as we paint. Okay, and so then really for the flowers you can do anything. This one is yellow and orange with a little bit of red, some pinkies and purples. This is like a violet, a deep purple. So I think as we work through our heart, I'll just kind of take those from the pan set. Now we are going to move to our heart shape. All right, so now the fun part. So with these little vines, we are going to create these offshoots for the flowers. So we're just going to take our outline and just kind of move some of the vine in and out of the wreath and just kind of help to create the dimension. And this is why it's so nice to do the outline. All right, so with our size 3, we're just going to keep making our wreath. And this here down at the end, you can even let this one go a little bit if you want. Just creating these little offshoots. And you can add some later if you want. You don't have to get stuck into one situation. It's already looking very pretty. So now I'd like to use a size 4 to create the leaves. That way we have a little bit of difference in size. We have some delicate things going on as well as some more substantial things, just to kind of make it look a little more interesting. So I'm just going to add some olive green to this mix that I already have. Maybe a little bit of olive brown. And I'm just going to create some leaves. So we just start with the tip of our brush, press all the way down with the belly of our brush and bring it up. Can do some little ones, can do some white space in them. If you wanted to do lighter ones, you could do that and come in with a vein. This is going to be a flower, so I'm going to leave that one bare. Maybe do some clusters of leaves together. I still want it to be pretty delicate because it's Valentine, so it's kind of like a love note. And I think I'm going to have to wind up doing a different color, so I'm going to try and do spread out these leaves just because I don't want to have all one color and then have to make another color and it kind of goes around, which that could be a cool look too, but not what I'm going for. So I'm just going to try and spread these out a little bit. And I like to have them kind of point off, all sorts of different types of leaves together. Some little ones here, just real dainty. And we can always, if we wind up having disproportionate flowers, and we can always add more leaves in. Really, we can do anything we want. I'm going to do one here. It's just starting to come to life. I love it. It really helps me to visualize, you know, at each step, you know, kind of what the card's going to look like and where I want my flowers to go. And so I just love each step. It's just so fun. And this one's definitely a spinner, so you can kind of get into the middle with these leaves. Okay, so once our leaves are dry, we're going to move on to our flowers. I'm going to use my size 3 again, just to kind of create some delicate pieces. And I think I am going to stick in this color palette. I like it pretty well. So I'm going to do yellow orange, you know, a pretty pink or red, purple and violet, like some ultramarine, just to kind of give the purple a little bit of blue. And then with those same purples, I'm also going to do this lilac with the purples and the reds. So we're just going to kind of use a little bit of everything. So I can already tell with my composition that I would like to have a few more flowers, you know, coming a little bit more into the middle. So I don't feel like I made my wreath pieces a little long enough to go into the heart. So I'm going to be doing that, number 1. And I also think it's important to strategize placement. In this one, I have one of the yellow flowers here, 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 and here. So it kind of creates a circle. And even though it's odd, even numbers, I think it does pretty well at kind of moving around the heart. And then also with these little buds here, it's the same thing. Everything just kind of moves around. And so working in these with evens generally isn't the best idea. Well, with composition, it's suggested not to do that, but I think it happens to look nice. So let's see where we want to start. Well, I think I'm actually going to make some of my wreath pieces a little bit longer for myself. So I really liked this one here, kind of coming out and in. I liked one kind of coming off and out here. And I like this one here. This one I think I'm just going to elongate a little bit, just a tad. This one as well. Just going to kind of work it like that. This one. This one here. And that way it kind of gives me a little bit to play with. Start with my yellow orange. And I'm just gonna do, 4 or 5 kind of little dots. Make like a marigold or a daisy type thing. And then I'm just gonna kind of slight bit of water, not too much, just kind of spread that dot out, and just make it basically evenly placed. Oh, that's beautiful. Alrighty, and then while that's still a little bit wet, I don't know if it's super, super wet, I'm going to drop in tad bit of red. Just to let it bleed. Then I'm going to move on to the next one, just using those little dots as placement for myself, and then just kind of taking the paint from the dot and pushing it out, leaving some kind of jagged, ends for a little bit of interest, and then taking my red and just working it in the middle like that. All right, and so we're just going to keep moving around, our heart and putting our flowers in. Now we can move on to a version of purple. Maybe I'll just put it in this red. And then I'm going to just lighten it up a little and maybe even put in a little bit of pink. This is opera pink, just for my lilacs, just to kind of give it a little bit color difference. One of the other things you can do that's really good is just kind of, as it's wet, add in those dark bleeds, and it makes it really pretty too. Okay, so the lilacs are like a cone shape. I just do little dots with my brush, just kind of like real little brush strokes, and I keep them wider at the base. And as you go up, it comes to this point, and then this is where you can come in and bring some of your darker color and just bleed it in. And you want to make sure and leave plenty of white space. That's beautiful. Okay, so another one. All right, and so with my lightest color, I'm going to make that base, just kind of a wide base, and then bring it up to a point, and then take my darker color, purple, pink, whatever color, and add it in, still leaving that white spot, that white space. So I'm adding it into the color that's already there. Okay, maybe one more. This might be a good spot here. So we're going to, again, just dab it, leaving the white space, making it wide at the base, and kind of coming to a point. And then I'm going to take my deeper purple and just kind of add that in on top of that lighter color. It's so pretty. Gorgeous. Okay. Okay, and we could even, if we wanted, you can even go into these lilacs and just kind of make some green indications for the stems. It's very pretty too, and even when it's wet, it's nice because it bleeds. So like that, very pretty. So now I'm gonna do, this was a little more on the pinky purple, so I'm going to deepen up this purple, and I'm just going to use the same mix with that pink in it, and I'm just going to add some ultramarine to it, a little bit more purple, and so we have this really deep purple here. Okay, so this one I'm going to do kind of like buds, clustered. So this one I usually do like a small cone as well, kind of like a rounded bottom. So we're just giving the illusion that that's what these are. So I'm leaving a little bit of white space. This one we can just do, well, we'll do three. We'll do one real close, kind of up in here. Do one bud. I'll do this one the same. Just basically doing a U shape and then kind of filling it in on the top, leaving some white space. Okay, that's looking good. So then the other flower that we have is just kind of like this little posy here, which was just a truer blue. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of water down some of this purple and then add in a little bit. I think I want like a more muted blue. Let's see if we can get in here. Then I can dilute it a little bit more. With this one, I just did basically like just stipples like this together. It's really just to add in the color. Not so much about the flower, but more about the color. Okay, do that. All right. And we're gonna have our greenery coming in and attaching it all, so it'll make more sense when we get it all together. Looks pretty good, I think. From here, we can add in kind of our middle pieces and all of the fun little details of the flowers. So let me get in some brighter yellow. This one is yellow. Let's see if I can put this in the center here. Okay, just to fill in. Looks great. So let's maybe add a little bit of greenish yellow to our original mix. And this we will use just kind of filling in these purple pieces, just kind of making some little connections. And we can even do that with the blues. And if it bleeds in, even better. So fun. That is so pretty. All right. So I think I'm going to stick with my 3 and do kind of some smaller leaves and feathery pieces. And I think I'm going to just stick with this green mix with a little bit of the yellowish green in it. I don't think it really, made that much of a difference in the color. We'll see a little bit. And so this is kind of the section where all of these longer pieces here, you can take your leaf and just kind of add it onto it. And sometimes you even get that dark piece in the middle that will come through as like the vein in the middle of the, let me try it with my 4. Let's see if I can get it better. See, like that. Isn't that pretty? Very nice. And you don't even have to put leaves on all these. You can leave it just like that. But I kind of like the difference of the look. So that one I'll leave because it's kind of in a weird spot. I might do just a few more of those. Maybe add some more water and do it lighter. And so now we're just filling in. So if you have some filling in greenery that you generally use in your wreaths, now would be the time. You can even add some more leaves to the flowers, these pretty pieces here. Just kind of do all sorts of different kinds of leaves. Just kind of make it visually interesting. Anything goes. That's the beauty. I'm going to play around and use my Ruger. This is a 2, Princeton Heritage. And because I want to create kind of like these little viney, wispy things. So I'm going to see if this brush will do it for me. So I'm going to concentrate mainly on where the flowers are coming out, just to kind of fill them in. I don't know if this is it. Let me try it. Not too bad. Okay. Kind of liking it a little bit better. The hard thing with these smaller brushes is that they don't hold much paint, so you have to dip in quite frequently in order to make it seem, you know, substantial. I think it is important to start at the base and then work your way out. Otherwise you get kind of like large clumps at the end. But I do really like this background that I created. I think it really, I was kind of worried that it would get kind of lost in the beauty of the wreath, but I think it stands out pretty good on its own. You can even get, like some of these you can even get out pretty long if you wanted. And there you have it, a beautiful heart wreath that could be for springtime. I made this card for a engagement card. You could do this for Valentine's Day, anniversary. It's endless what you could do it with. And I have fun making it. The hardest part probably is the heart, like tracing the heart. But if you were to get a stencil of a heart shape that you liked, that makes it all the easier. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you loved this quick and easy heart tutorial, and we will work on some other fun Valentine's things next time. Bye, see you later.